So with all the buzz going on about Spider-Man and Marvel's Avengers and whether or not hero events should or should not be a thing, I thought I'd give my 2 cents on the matter because I've seen it go both ways and people think different things, and I'm super curious what you think already, so just leave your comments down below before we get started, and then maybe you'll think something different by the end of the video. Let me know. There's a bunch of pros and cons for hero events. Let's go over them, and then at the end I'll give you kind of my final consensus. So number 1 obviously is a big ol' pro in that hero events might make heroes come out faster. That is a potential thing that could happen if they start releasing with less effort put into their stories. I've heard counterclaims to this argument that like it's different teams that work on the stories than it is different teams that work on the characters themselves, and I can understand why people are saying that, but I think that it is definitely easier to pump out characters if you're not putting all that time into their story, and of course time into the world that would come with those stories, whether it's like individual missions and individual new enemies and individual new stuff. Like there's a lot that comes along with a character when they release other than just their story, right? Like usually there's a new area, usually there's some type of new enemy, it's stuff like that, right? That is where we can cut time down. And really that's just the main pro for why people want to see more hero events, because having more heroes come out means that there's more content in the game as a whole, and that's something that I would love to see, because more content means that more people might want to play, and more heroes means that there's more ways to play, which is always a good thing in games like this. But of course a negative to hero events is that lack of story and potential outlash at certain characters getting shafted into hero events. There has been some community outcry at the fact that Spider-Man doesn't get his own story, and the reason that that is happening is because he is of course exclusive, so if he came along with a big story expansion type thing, people would be like, well, I'm missing out on so much content, what is this? But if it's just Spider-Man, it's a little bit easier to digest for people that don't get to play him. Now if everyone got Spider-Man, I think the backlash for him not having a story would be significantly higher. And the same goes for any heroes that get released later on with hero events. I think that people will be mad that their favorite character did not come with a big story expansion and that they're just now playable, even though I think that kinda you shouldn't be, because if you're new characters in the game at all, that's probably pretty cool. Like, I'm down to just have Spider-Man, he doesn't need a story for me, I'm just down and happy that I get to play him at all. Now there are some other potential negatives that I'd like to bring to your attention, just in case you may have not considered them. Number 1 being that if we have heroes releasing without story content, we might just get less story content as a whole, which I think would be a big omega shame, because I think the story in this game is its strongest point for me personally. You're allowed to think otherwise, you can like the combat more, you can like anything else about the game more, but for me, I come here for the story and the Marvel character lore and all of that. That's my bread and butter. So for me, getting less and less of that in order to play new characters isn't exactly a worthwhile trade-off all of the time. Of course, it does depend, Spider-Man being a perfect example of when it's fine. However, there is a flip side to that coin, and it's that heroes would be able to be introduced without needing to be shoehorned into the story. So if the hero maybe doesn't fit the overarching story, like someone obvious, like say Captain Marvel would, then you can just throw them in along just while we're playing, and they don't need to impact the story in a big way. There is of course the argument that hero events won't give you that much new stuff to actually do other than play the new hero, but I think that that is in itself a lot, and usually a new hero will come with a new challenge card that you could purchase if you wanted to go that route, and of course the event itself would provide you with stuff you could actually do. So I think there is something there. It might not be as much as like a couple hours long expansion of the story or new missions to play, but it is something and it is not nothing, and I think that's better than nothing. Obviously, 0 is less than 1. Seriously, let me know what you think in the comments down below, because I think it really does go both ways. Overall, I think there are ways that they could do it poorly and ways they could do it well. It really just depends on how they would implement it, and hopefully they take player feedback on this, because I'm super interested to see if you guys think it would be a good or a bad thing, so let me know in those comments. For Tuesday, for the raid coming out, I will be streaming all day on my Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/synchrochamp. So if you want to come watch me play Spider-Man, or maybe play the raid at some point, I'm not 100% sure yet, come to that channel and hang out. It'll be a great time. I will be live from reset to whenever I die, literally pass out at my keyboard. I will be going all day. I'm very excited. Also, let me know in the comments what hero you would like to see come to the game next in general, because because I'm sure you guys have a huge list of characters you'd love to see, as do I. Personally, it's characters like Doctor Strange or WandaVision or somebody with a unique power set that we haven't seen in the game so far. I'm not interested so much in like a War Machine or a She-Hulk or somebody that runs around on the ground or moves in a way that we've already seen. I want somebody unique and interesting, like a Spider-Man or like a Doctor Strange or like a Silver Surfer, somebody super out of left field. Give me somebody crazy, let's go. The reason I said Silver Surfer is because he is the most out there traversal I could think of, and not because I actually would love to see him in the game. I don't think he'd fit very well, but it's an interesting character and I'd love to just see somebody interesting. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, it would mean a lot to me, it helps me out a lot, and click on another video if there's one on the screen that piques your interest. It would be really awesome of you to just continue to watch my content all day, every day. But I understand you probably have other things to do, so that's not the most reasonable thing that you can do with your time. It's all good, don't stress too much about it. Now we just dance until the video ends, if it's not already.